All right, so this is day 2 of ellipses, which is writing equations. The beginning starts with 2 graphing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move past that, do the writing in case that's why you're watching this video. And at the end, I'll do the graphing if you're looking for extra help on graphing. Okay, so example 1 says, write an equation of the ellipse with the vertices of -5, -5, 9, -5, and co-vertices 2, 1, and 2, -11. Notice example 2 is vertex and focus. They do change once again, so pay attention to all of them. All right, you're going to need a sketch. The reason we're sketching is to see if it is vertical or horizontal. And to find A, B, and possibly label with C if need be. Okay, so now I'm going to graph my vertices. -5, -5, -5, -5. We'll say is right about there. I'll put V, -5, -5. That's not -5, -5. Oh my goodness. -5, -5. Left 5, down 5. I'll put a V there for a vertex. -5, -5. And there's also one at 9, -5. Put it over here. 9, -5. I'll put a V there so I know it's vertex. All right, so also what I want you to notice is that if you look at this distance to 0, it's shorter than this distance to 0. Because 9 is farther away, you want it to actually look like that. You don't want to look like zeros in the middle, otherwise you're just going to confuse yourself. Okay, now I can graph my co-vertices. They're at 2, 1. So right 2, up 1, let's say right here-ish. 2, 1, and I'll put CV for co-vertice. And then what's the other one? 2, -11. So down here. 2, -11. And it looks like I have to move that one over just a little bit so that it lines up with the other red one. Okay. All right, so those are my points that I was given, and now I have to write the equation of the hyperbola. So ellipse. Hyperbola is in the next lesson. Okay, so these are my vertices. My vertices are my major axis. So since these are my vertices, that I know now that it's horizontal. So this is a horizontal ellipse. All right, so I like to do a skeleton just like I like to do for parabolas. X minus, I'll need H there, square it all over. I'll need A squared there, plus Y minus something squared all over equals 1. So I start off by doing that. And my answer will go just right here and I'll box it. There's no really cleaning up to it. Okay, so I need my center first. I wasn't given my center, but I know where my center is. My center is directly in between these 4 points right here, right? So it has to line up with these 2 red ones, line up with these 2 purple ones. So I do know how far over it is because it's the same distance over as the red ones, 2. I know how far down it is because it's the same as the purple ones, -5. So my center is 2, -5. 2, -5. All right, now I need A and B, so I can put A squared here and B squared here. If you want, since this is so easy to erase, I would write A squared right here and B squared right here so you put them in the right spots. Okay, let's start off by finding A. A is the distance from the center to a vertex. So here's the center, and just you want that to the vertex, any vertex. I could have gone to this vertex instead. It's the same distance. Okay, so, wait, I want that back. Center to a vertex. All right, so if you look, it goes from 2 to 9. So A from 2 to 9 is 7. I could have also gone from 2 to -5, which is also 7. So A is 7, therefore A squared is 49. All right, now I need B. B is the distance from your center to a co-vertex. So center to a co-vertex, if you look, this goes from -5 to +1. So B is from -5. And if you're like, why aren't you using the 2's? That's how far right it is, not up and down. Okay, -5 to 1 is a distance of 6. So B squared is 36. And there is my equation of my ellipse. So it is the easiest when you are given your vertices and co-vertices because you can easily find A and B and your center. All right, next one. Write an equation of ellipse centered at the origin with vertex 6, 0 and focus 3, 0. So first off, I want to do a sketch. All right, so they also told me on this one that the center is the origin, so that's HK. So this is 0, 0, and that's my center. It then told me that I have a vertex at 6, 0, so write 6 up 0. I'll put 6, 0, and that is a vertex. But if I have a vertex there, I also have one here. I don't need it, but might as well put it down. The other information that they gave me is that I have a focus at 3, 0. 3, 0, that's a focus. And you also have one at negative 3, 0. Okay, so if you look, your vertices, if I connect them, I'm connecting them and making a horizontal line right here. So this is a horizontal ellipse. So now I'm going to write x minus, leave a space for h squared over a squared, plus y minus, leave a space for k squared over b squared, equals 1. All right, let's start with our center, hk. Our center is 0, 0. So that I don't have to write this out again, x minus 0 squared is just x squared. So I'm going to change this to x squared. Y minus 0 squared is y squared. So I'm changing that and erasing it so I don't have to rewrite it. All right, let's find A. A is the distance from your center to a vertex. 0 to 6 is 6. So A is 6, A squared is 36. I can erase this A squared and put 36 here. Next I'll find B, and I look for my co-vertices and I don't have them. So I say, meh. I need to find B though. Well, what do I know? What haven't I not used yet? I haven't used my foci. I have this distance. The distance from my center to a focus is C, and I know C is 3. So I have C and I have A and I need B. So I'm going to use my equation, C squared equals A squared minus B squared. All right, so 3 squared is 9 equals 36 minus B squared. Subtract 36 from both sides. I get negative 27 is equal to negative B squared. Divide by negative 1 and I get B squared is 27. Do not square root. You wanted B squared, remember, not just B. So I can erase the B squared and I can put that it's 27. Okay, moving on to the next one. Write an equation of ellipse with foci and co-vertices. All right, let's do it. Foci are at negative 1, 2. Negative 1, 2. Let's say that's right here. Let's say foci, negative 1, 2. And then I have negative 1, negative 10 is my other one. Foci. Negative 1, negative 10. The F's just there to tell me what it is, so I don't have to keep looking back and forth. My co-vertices are at 2, negative 4, so write 2, down 4. These are my co-vertices. And what's the other one I have? Negative 4, negative 4. And notice I'm trying to make it look balanced here. Okay, so now I need to decide the orientation. I wasn't given my vertices, but I was given my foci, and my foci are on my major axis. So I know this has to be my major axis. It extends further, but that's my major axis, so this is vertical. Okay, all right, so I'm going to make my skeleton x minus h squared over, and then I have plus, I'll put b squared here since it's vertical, y minus k squared, leave a space, over a squared is equal to 1. All right, so I need to find my center. I'm going to draw the center in. It's right here. And if you look, I can tell that it's left 1, just like the foci are, and down 4, just like the co-vertices are, and this is my center. So my center is negative 1, negative 4, so I'm going to change that to a plus 1, plus 4. All right, now I need A and B. So I'll start with looking for A. A is the distance from the center to a vertex. Don't have it. So I'm saying, okay, fine, can I find B? B is the distance from the center to a co-vertex. So I can find B. B is, go from -1 to 2, that's 3. B is 3, so B squared is 9. So I can fill in B squared, and I can put a 9 right here. Now we already said we can't find A, but that means we have to be able to find C. So now let's look to see how we can find C. Center to your focus, this distance. It goes from -4 to +2. So that means C is 6. I have to use C squared equals A squared minus B squared. So that's 36 is equal to A squared is what I'm looking for, minus B squared, which is 9. Solve for A squared by adding 9 to both sides, and I get 45 is A squared. Remember, you're not square rooting because A squared goes right here, 45. Okay, last one, and then we're going to classify some of these below here. Write an equation of ellipse with vertices and foci. So let's go ahead and sketch this. We have vertices at -5, -3, and 5, -3. So -5, -3, and 5, -3. Oops, it doesn't look like a negative. And then we have foci at -4, -3. I should put an F here for foci, so I remember. And 4, -3. Foci. And I'm going to come back here, put V for vertices, so I remember. Okay, so I needed to know the orientation. If I look at the orientation here, connect my vertices, this is horizontal. So this is a horizontal ellipse. Horizontal. Okay, so I'm going to do x minus, leave a space for h squared over a squared, plus y minus, leave a space for k squared over b squared is equal to 1. All right, so I need my center, which is HK, okay, and my center is directly in between these two. So now if I look at my center, I say, well, I don't know how far it is to the left and right just by like looking at other points, but I do know how far down it is. It's definitely down -3. So I say, how am I going to get how far it is to the left and right? So I look and I can use either my vertices or my foci. This is -5 and this is +5. I want directly in between those two. -5 plus 5 divided by 2 is 0. So this is 0, -3. Now you might be saying, it doesn't look like 0, -3. I didn't draw it balanced enough. So if I wanted to do, I could move this over here and you can see that's how it actually looks, right? Okay, now I can fill in my center. So 0, this is going to become x minus 0 squared, which is just x squared. Y minus a -3 squared, so plus 3 squared. I need a squared and I need b squared. So let's start with a squared. A is the distance from your center to your vertex. I do have a vertex in purple here. 0 to 5, so that is 5. So a squared is 25. All right, next I need to find, I'm trying to get different colors here. Blue, I use green. I need to find B, and I look, and I don't have my co-vertices, but I do have my foci. So I have my distance from my center to my focus is from 0 to 4, which is 4. So C is 4. I'm going to use C squared equals A squared minus B squared. So I have 16 equals A squared, which is 25, minus B squared. Subtract 25 from both sides. I have -9 is -B squared. So b squared is 9. And now I can replace that b squared with a 9. All right, last but not least here, this is just classify whether it's a parabola, a circle, ellipse, or neither. So let's start with how we know it's a parabola. We know it's a parabola if it has an x squared and a y, or a y and an x squared. An x squared and a y, or a y and an x squared. We know it is an ellipse if there's an x squared and a y squared. There's addition separating them, and they have the same leading coefficient. We know if it's a circle if it has an x squared and a y squared, or sorry, it has different leading coefficients for an ellipse. We know it's a circle if they're the same. If it's an x squared and a y squared with a minus separating them, it's neither. All right, so let's go through that. X squared and a y squared, so it's either, and then there's addition separating, so it's either a circle or ellipse. Since they have the same leading coefficient, this is a circle. Next one just has an x squared and a y. This is a parabola. Has an x squared and a y squared, but it's subtraction, so this is neither of the listed above. It's actually our hyperbola that we'll do later. X squared and a y squared, addition separating, so it's either a circle or an ellipse. Different coefficients, so this is an ellipse. Okay, that's it for writing equations. If you need help with these, I'll post the answer key on Schoology. And